Welcome back to another rebuild challenge here on NBA 2K23 Next Gen. In today's video, we are going to be doing the 25 and under player rebuild. This one's as simple as it sounds. Every single player in my 9 or 10 man rotation must be 25 years old or younger. We're going to be doing this one in a fantasy draft. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to select probably 9 or 10 guys. I think this makes it the easiest because if I don't do that, then I'm going to have to spend probably 5 to 10 minutes making trades to open this. So I think that's the best way. I'll probably show you guys 3 or 4 draft picks just so you guys kind of know some of the top guys I'm going out and getting. But this is a challenge I've done before. It's one that's typically not as hard as the 30 plus challenge. And I say that because 1, guys are on rookie deals still. 2, guys progress really, really well when they're younger. So it makes sense all around. Also, another big rule in this, once a guy does hit free agency, I'm not allowed to qualify him for his final year, even if he's 25 or anything like that. And if he hits 25, past the playoffs, I have to just let him go. I can't re-sign him and then trade him. As always, let me know any other video ideas you guys do have down below in the comment section. You guys have been great with ideas lately, and I don't want them to ever stop. Of course, you guys are new around here, just have not yet subbed to the channel. Do me a favor, hit that sub button. Stick around a while. But yeah, as I mentioned, I've done this rebuild a couple times before. I pretty much do it every time we have a new 2K, and I got a couple requests for it. So that's why we're here today. Let's get into it. We're going to go ahead and randomly select a team, then obviously see what spot we end up with in the draft. We can go ahead and just do that. I'll close my eyes to make sure you guys know I'm not cheating. But we'll stop here in 3, 2, and 1. We end up with the Detroit Pistons. They are going to be my team. Hopefully we have a pretty good pick. Oh my God, do we have the 3rd overall pick? Holy shit. 3rd overall pick. Obviously Luka would have been fun. He is 23 though, so I have to be a little bit choosy about which player I end up going with here. Because obviously age is huge. Tatum would be obviously the best player available that's under 25, but we'd really only have him for a year or 2. And I don't know if I really kind of want to go that route. I mean, maybe somebody like Shea's 24. Ja Morant's only 23. So if I have Ja Wilkes-Booth here, I'm able to have him probably for the entirety of the 3-year rebuild. If I'm looking at some other young talent here in this league, I mean, Zion's an obvious one that's always great to have. 22 years old, obviously progresses extremely, extremely well. But you know what? I'm thinking I'm going to go Ja. It's not every day I'm able to get Ja Morant. So let me go with him. A year younger, we'll keep up, hopefully, I think. Again, it depends on birthdays as well. We'll be able to keep him throughout the entirety of this rebuild. So he's 23. I'll be able to have him at 23, 24, and 25. So that's obviously great. Ja Morant's my 1st overall pick. Let's sim up to my next pick again. As I mentioned, I'll show you guys the first 3. Then we can go from there. And yeah, man, 3rd overall pick. I wish we had 1. I still probably would have taken Luka if we had 1, but yeah, man, it's cool to see. All right, so Jamal Murray's here, obviously 25. Don't really need a point guard though. DeAndre Ayton we could have for a year. Jordan Poole's here. I don't really, again, we could move him to shooting guard maybe. Oh man. If I filter by age, ooh, Şengün's here. This would be a really good young center that we could obviously have for the entirety of the video. But before we go ahead and draft him, I want to make sure there's nobody else here that's like super young that I really do believe can develop really, really well. So let's check out like some of the 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds. Just make sure they're not too high of an overall. Şengün, obviously. Jaden Ivey's another guy that really does progress well. We actually might even be able to get him in the next round to be our shooting guard for the entirety of this video. Let's also go ahead and just check out the 21-year-old guys here. Make sure I'm not missing anybody, too bad. Jalen Williams, Walker Kessler, these are all options. Then I'll check out 22 just to make sure. So let me just double check 22, top 22-year-olds, RJ Barrett. Evan Vassell's here. Do I want RJ Barrett? I don't think RJ Barrett progresses as well as somebody like Şengün does, or potentially even Jaden Ivey. So I'm going to make this pick. We're going to go ahead. We're going to take Şengün right now. He's going to be my center, obviously, the entire video. And then we also have the 3rd overall pick at the top of this round. And I think Jaden Ivey is going to be my guy, to be honest with you. I think it's a great pick. We all see how well he can progress, and he's going to be my guy. So those are the 3 picks you guys are going to see. I'll see you guys with the rest of this team. I'm going to show you guys the rest of the team in just a minute, but real quick, a couple of you guys were asking to see what draft classes I use. It's just these top 3 right here. These are all on PS5. And yeah, I basically just go down the line every single year. So if you want to see that, there you go. Here is a look at the team. I made about 9 draft picks. Obviously, you guys saw these top 3 here with Ja Morant, Alperen Şengün, and Jaden Ivey. We also took Chet Holmgren. Now, I took Holmgren for a couple of reasons. Most importantly being, 1, he's 20, obviously on a rookie contract still, and he's possibly going to be a really valuable trade piece if it comes to that point. I thought it was a really good draft pick there. We have Nasir Little. I also took Jabari Smith Jr., another former top 3 pick. Yeah, he was number 3 overall, correct? We have Quentin Grimes here, Paul Reed. Javon Carter was not one of my draft picks. I took Kobe White. I didn't take Troy Brown Jr., but he's here. Isaiah Levers, Frank Ntilikina, Greg Brown. So it's a decently talented team. There's some guys we're going to have to move to small forward most likely. Probably going to be Nasir Little here for year 1, as he only is 22. and he's 6'5" with an A- three-pointer. So it's not a terribly ugly looking team. I think there's a potential move or two we could make, because obviously we have to get rid of Javon Carter and stuff like that. But other than that, I think we're in a pretty good spot. Hopefully development goes pretty well. Also, I remembered to turn off previously traded draft picks, so it's a pretty good spot to be in when I do remember that. Let's go ahead and make a trade or two. We're going to be making this trade with the Warriors, setting Javon Carter and Isaiah Levers along with the second-round pick in 2025 over to the Golden State Warriors for Kevin Knox and a first-round pick. This trade is clearly in order for me to acquire a draft pick. I don't know what the Warriors team looks like exactly. They have Giannis. They actually have Chris Middleton as well. And they're probably still going to be a pretty good team, but at the end of the day, a draft pick is a draft pick for two guys that weren't going to be in the rotation. Our next and I believe final trade is going to be sending Frank Ntilikina and Troy Brown Jr. over to Phoenix. We're going to be picking up Teo Malden in a second-round draft pick. Malden is definitely a few years younger. He has another year of team control, and he's an overall, or actually 2 overalls higher than Frank Ntilikina. So we're going to go ahead and make that trade, solidify the backup point guard spot behind Ja Morant. If I'm looking at the rest of this roster right now, I moved a couple positions around, obviously, as you can tell. I don't think there's any other major trades that I'm going to make. I might try to get a first for Kevin Knox or literally just any other draft pick, but other than that, there's really not going to be anything else, because I'm pretty comfortable keeping this roster, even if we have some backups that aren't potentially playing just on the team, because they could be useful at some point, whether it's in a trade like Greg Brown Jr. or whether we have him in the rotation at some point. So as you can see, I moved some positions around. I like this team. I don't know if we'll be great in year one, but hopefully down the line in this 3-year rebuild. Let's set the rotation. We're all done making trades. We have finalized the rotation for the start of year one here in Detroit, and here's how it's going to look. It's Ja Morant and Jaden Ivey. I'm playing Jaden Ivey heavy minutes because I know how well he can progress if he can unlock that potential. Obviously, the more minutes possible, he's going to get there. I am starting Quentin Grimes at the 3. Obviously started out listed as a 2. We actually went up 2 overalls when you move into the small forward spots. That's great to see. Jabari Smith Jr. and Alperen Sengun are going to be our front court. The bench unit, Nasir Little. I typically like to have a wing or a guard as a 6th man, so that's why I'm not having Chet Holmgren. But he's still playing 18 minutes a night, and as I mentioned, could be a valuable trade piece if we decide to go that route at some point. Followed by Paul Reed, Kobe White, and then Teo Malden. So it's not a terrible team. It's not a great team. I think, again, it's going to really depend on a lot of these guys' progression and how they play in the first couple of years of their NBA career. But I'm liking it a lot right now, and we'll just have to go out there and see. I'll see you guys at the end of year one. Year one is over. We go 43-39, so we're not exactly as high of a record as I thought we were going to be, but you know what? I can live with it here in year one. Obviously, we're going to have 2 off seasons as well to hopefully continue building this team up. Jason Tatum's in Orlando. He is your MVP. It hurts my soul to see him in another uniform. Paolo Banchero, Rookie of the Year. Cole Anthony, 6th man. Anthony Davis, Defensive Player of the Year. Actually looks pretty clean in a Raptors jersey. I can't even lie. Sengun wins Most Improved. That's awesome. 13.5 points, almost 10 boards, 5 assists, basically. You love to see it. Jamal Mosley is your Coach of the Year. So let's look at the standings, see if we finished as one of the play. Oh, no. Wow, we finished as a 5 seed. I did not think, well, I guess that's a little fair. I mean, things kind of tend to even out a little bit in fantasy drafts, but 43 wins as a 5 seed, not too great. I mean, take a look over here at the West. We would have been, top of the plan. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the stats on the year, see how everybody played. Ja Morant played super well. Jaden Ivey was good. Jabari Smith Jr., Sengun, Holmgren off the bench, Nasir Little, Quentin Grimes. It's not terrible in that starting 5. Again, just kind of filling out your role and kind of, seeing what you got to do. But, yeah, man, we are a 5 seed. We have Indiana here in the first round. Let's take a look at their team. Jamal Murray, Klay Thompson. Oh, they have LeBron. Jared Vanderbilt, Isaiah Hartenstein, KPJ, Dorian Finney-Smith. All right, well, that's a pretty good 4 seed right there. That's some pretty good help for LeBron. We are currently down 3-1 here in round 1. We're battling back a little bit. And that's all she wrote for us as we end up falling to the Indiana Pacers in 6. The finals is going to be Steph and the Mavericks versus Dame in the Brooklyn Nets. Let's take a look at both these teams. Interesting. And also interesting. All right, let's go ahead and sim this series, and it is Damian Lillard and the Brooklyn Nets. Dame finally getting a ring out here in Brooklyn in the first season has come to a close. All right, that's awesome. It's obviously time for the offseason. We're not going to have a lottery pick because obviously we were in the playoffs, but we'll go ahead and sim the lottery. Just in case, your top 5 is the Thunder, the Bulls, Wizards, Bucks, and the New York Knicks. So let's see staff signing. To be honest with you, I'm not a huge Dwayne Casey fan. I'm going to go out and get my own guy here in Mike Stauffer because, I could probably use him today. Now let's head up to the draft where we do have our own first round pick, and it is at number 19. We also have our second, then we have a Suns second in round 2. Suns second round, that makes sense. 22nd overall in round 2. I'm thinking I want to make a trade. I'm not sure the exact trade it's going to be, But I wouldn't mind also maybe drafting somebody who could potentially be a decent piece off the bench for me. So let's see what we're going to do. The Sacramento Kings own the 6th overall selection. I'm going to try to move Nasir Little in our 19th overall pick this year. In order to kind of move up, I have somebody in mind I want to go out and get at number 6. And yeah, let's just see if we can obviously do it. I'll throw in my 2 seconds as well. I don't really want to give up a ton besides this. I'd probably give up my first next year because I think we'll be good, and they agree to that. So we're hopefully going to get our guy at 6. It's Cameron Whitmore. I want to see if hopefully he's there. He is going to be there. But okay, yeah, no, Cameron Whitmore is here. All the top 3 guys won as well. Nick Smith Jr. is here. I just got him in a video yesterday. I'm not going to draft him again. But Cameron Whitmore is going to be my guy here, and yeah, probably my starting small forward moving forward. Obviously, it's great to have somebody who's young on that rookie contract and somebody we know who's going to progress pretty well as well, who's only 19. Şengün, Quentin Grimes, and Teo Malden all going to be coming back. We look at qualifying offers. Paul Reed, I'll give him a qualifying. I'll do the same with Kobe White, even though maybe I'd look to upgrade a little bit in terms of our backup shooting guard and our backup power forward. So they're both free agents. I can't qualify them. I made that a rule before this video. And this is not going to be really one of those videos where we sign a major free agent, because any major free agent that's 25 years old or younger most likely going to be restricted. So kind of puts us in an interesting, kind of tough spot right there. But I honestly don't think it's what we really needed to do today. I mean, we have a pretty good team. Still have the option to potentially go out and trade Chet Holmgren as well if we want to do that. So let's consider all our options before we go out and do anything major. We're going to be re-signing Kobe White on a 3-year, almost $43 million contract. Now, that is a decent chunk of change, but I think it's what kind of he demanded on the market right now. And he's not a horrible backup shooting guard option for me. So we're going to be bringing him back. I'd like to get Paul Reed back as well. Unfortunately, we don't have any sort of rights on him. So it's a little bit tricky in that aspect. Also, maybe could go after somebody like Trey Jones, get an upgrade over Teo Malden at our backup point guard option. Again, is a restricted free agent, as we kind of expected everybody under 25 to be. But he's really probably not going to get matched if I kind of had to take a guess. So let's look at some other potential power forward options. There's really not much here. I mean, PJ Washington, Grant Williams are 2 options. I see Darius Baisley here as well. How much money do I have? So I have the money to go out and get both these guys, hypothetically, if I want to. So, why not? Let's send Darius Baisley, who's only 23, and then let's see how much Trey Jones wants. He wants about $12 million. I'll actually give him a little bit more just because I don't want the deal to get matched, and I have the money, so I might as well go out and use it. So we're going to sign both these guys. I'm going to let Paul Reed go. And, yeah, man, we find our 2 new backups. I'm probably going to move Teo Malden for a draft pick at this point. But other than that, I'm just going to let everybody kind of go on and hopefully continue to develop. Jabari Smith Jr. had a great rookie year. No reason to move on from him yet. And again, we still have this trade piece potentially in Chet Holmgren. So, going to go ahead. Going to move Teo Malden. And, yeah, we're going to get a draft pick from somebody. I don't know. Bulls were not that good last year. I'll take a draft pick from them. They actually just had the 2nd overall pick. I don't mind it. I like this team. I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. Here's how things are shaping up for the 2nd season in Detroit. We didn't change a ton about this team. We obviously just went ahead and used our 6th overall selection to draft Cameron Whitmore. I am going to go ahead and start him over Quentin Grimes. Grimes will kind of anchor down that 2nd unit, who is developing quite nicely. So it's Ja Morant, who is only 24 still at this point. Obviously, everybody has to be 25 or younger, so we're still good there. Jaden Ivey's progressing nicely. We have Cameron Whitmore starting at the 3. Jabari Smith Jr. here at the 4, and then Şengün starting here at our center spot. The bench unit, Quentin Grimes, Chet Holmgren. Funny enough, the game actually wants me to start Holmgren. I'm not going to do it, but it's just funny how that works. Followed by Trey Jones, Darius Baisley, and Kobe White. So the bench got a little bit better from last year, along with everybody progressing pretty nicely in the starting 5. I'm feeling pretty good about this season. I'll see you guys at the end of year 2. Year 2 ends and we go 60-22. I would say that's a bit of an overachievement in terms of the regular season, and obviously we hope it can lead to some postseason success. Luka Doncic is your MVP. He's 25 years old. It obviously would have been awesome to have him. I believe we actually would have had to move on from him after this season, so that obviously would have been a little bit tricky. Not that we actually had the option to draft him, but we were close at number 3. But he does win MVP here for OKC. Victor Wembanyama, oh my God, he's in OKC as well? That's terrifying. Cole Anthony, 6th man. Anthony Davis, Defensive Player of the Year. Again, Desmond Bane, Most Improved. And Stafford wins Coach of the Year as we do go 60-22. Obviously hoping this can kind of translate to the postseason a little bit. But yeah, best record in the league. I'll take it. We're a pretty young team, to say the least. Ja Morant leads us in scoring, average 10 assists as well. That's awesome. Jaden Ivey up to 20 plus points a game. Jabari Smith Jr., Cameron Whitmore, Şengün, Holmgren, Baisley, Grimes, White. You got Trey Jones down here. Boards were led by Şengün, and assists was Ja Morant. So, first round of the playoffs, who we got? It's going to be the New York Knicks. Scoot Anderson, Kyrie Irving, Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon, Christian Wood. They got Precious Achiuwa, Gafford, Obi Toppin. A lot of big men coming off the bench. We lose game 1 to them. That's obviously not a great start. We lose game 3 as well. So we're 2-2 right now. We go down 3-2. Okay, we go to 7 games, but we pull it out in the first round. That scared me a little bit. 76ers here, they have Malcolm Brogdon, Herbert Jones, Kelly Oubre, Julius Randle, Bam Adebayo. It's a really good front court right there. I don't know if there's that star that necessarily can lead them to a championship on this team. Again, that's a super limited, list of players. There's only 5 or 6 players in the league that can be, at the moment, have proven they can be a number 1 option on a championship team. But, yeah, this is still a really good 76ers team. We are currently up 3-2, and we are on to the Eastern Conference Finals to take on the team that actually beat us last year in the first round in the Indiana Pacers. Jamal Murray, Klay Thompson, LeBron, Vanderbilt, Isaiah Hartenstein, KPJ, Okoro. Holy depth. All right, well, we lose game 1 to them. We win game 2. We go down 2-1, 3-1. Not the way I wanted this to end. But, yeah, 39-year-old LeBron still doing it. And he's taking on Luka and Victor Wembanyama. Holy shit. And RJ Barrett. And DeAndre Ayton. Just give the Thunder the title. There's no way they're losing. Luka Doncic is your finals MVP at age of 25. I mean, obviously, it would have been great to have him here, but I didn't have that option. Let's hit the draft lottery. Again, I don't think we have any lottery picks. Just if you guys want to see it, we'll send this real quick. Pelicans, Hornets, Kings, Wizards, and Lakers. So, I'm not firing Mike Stauffer. You legitimately cannot get a better coach. Let's head up to the draft right now, see if we do have our first round pick. Did I trade it? I did trade it, so I'm assuming nobody wants that, yeah. So who are you going to draft for me at number 30 in round 2? Tudor DeVoe. You know what? He can be a roster spot for me. Team player options. All these guys are going to be coming back. Qualifying offers. Tyler Cook wasn't playing anyways, and he can't. Actually, he's too old. So let's consider some options right now. What do I want to do? When looking at this team, obviously who's had the best record in the league, which is great. It still makes me a little bit nervous, though. So everybody at the moment's under 25 that's actually playing, that's on this roster. So hypothetically, I don't actually have to trade everybody, because if you do the math, by this point next season, which will be the final year, everybody will be 25 at the highest. So I still think there's a trade to make to maybe go out and get one final upgrade. So let me think about that for a second. We're going to try to get Scotty Barnes here from the Sacramento Kings. I don't necessarily feel like I need to trade Chet Holmgren, but if I want to go out and make an upgrade in my starting lineup, at least in terms of overalls, I have to make this trade, and I have to go out and do it. I think overalls matter a lot in this game, and although he's not putting up the craziest numbers in the world, I still think he'd be an upgrade in the starting lineup. So I'm going to try to go out and get him. It is the final year, so it really doesn't matter what I include in this deal. You want Tudor DeVoe or whatever the hell his name is, take him. You can also have whatever draft picks you want. It's the final year. I'm not too worried about it. So hopefully we can get this to go through. It makes me a little bit nervous here. All right, let me remove my boy Tudor here. And it's going to be 5 draft picks. Holy shit. Okay, well, I'm getting a little bit nervous now that we're not... Seriously? Okay. Who else could I possibly trade here? Well, I could move, hypothetically, one of Grimes or Cameron Whitmore. I think I'd rather keep Cameron Whitmore just because I drafted him. So how about if I don't give up 4 draft picks? I agreed that. All right. Welcome to the team, Scotty Barnes. He's an upgrade in this starting lineup. Cameron Whitmore will now come off the bench. He's also only 22. So I'm still very comfortable with Jabari Smith Jr. He's been playing really well for us at a starting power forward spot. So even though he's not the highest overall, I think he'll probably be up to around an 83 at the start of next year. And yeah, that's probably our final move there. I would like to find a backup center now that is hopefully, again, 25 years old or younger. Jackson Hayes will be 25 by this point next year, so he'll still be fine. All right, welcome to the team, Jackson Hayes. I will see you guys at the start of the third and final year. Here's how the rotation is going to shake up for the final season here in Detroit. We made one major move this offseason. That was going out and acquiring Scotty Barnes to join this starting lineup. He's nearly a 90 overall. Pretty happy about the move. Everybody else is continuing to progress. I think things are kind of shaping up well. We went 16-22 last year, lost to LeBron and the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm feeling pretty good. It's John Morant, Jaden Ivey, Scotty Barnes, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Şengün, bench unit Cameron Whitmore, Trey Jones, Darius Bazley, Jackson Hayes, and Kobe White. I'm going to run through this just to make sure everybody at this very moment is 25 or younger, because if they are not, then we are completely screwed. And yeah, it looks like we are all set. I will see you guys at the end of the third and final year. We end year 3, the final season, with a record of 70-12. That's obviously pretally good. We hopefully can translate to the postseason, though. Luka Doncic, I believe that's his 2nd straight MVP. Xavier Booker, Rookie of the Year. Amen Thompson, 6th man. Victor Wembanyama wins Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, he's officially won a championship and now a DPOY in 2 seasons in the league. Brandon Miller, Most Improved. Mike Stauffer does win Coach of the Year. As we do go 70-12. pretty impressive. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the standings real quick, see how things are shaking up. We had the best record in the league. But the Thunder make me very nervous. But we got to get to the finals to even potentially play them first. John Morant, Jaden Ivey, Jabari Smith Jr., Şengün, Scotty Barnes, Whitmore, Baisley, Jones, White, Jackson Hayes is how it shook up here. Rebound, Şengün, and assists, John Morant. All right, who we got here in round one? It's going to be the Charlotte Hornets. Tyrese Halliburton, Devin Vassell, Daniel Martin Jr., Porzingis, Nick Richards, Dalen Terry. It's not a bad team. I think we're just a little bit better at this point in time. And if I don't get out of the first round, I would have been very, very disappointed. Atlanta here in round two. They have Trae Young, Jaylen Brown, Lowry Marketing. Holy shit. Holy depth. Okay, that Atlanta's team officially scares me. Okay, we're up 3-0, though. Okay, don't blow a 3-0 lead. Thank you. I would have been very upset. Orlando here in the Eastern Conference Finals. Cade Cunningham, Jalen Suggs, Jason Tatum, Dorian Finney-Smith, Miles Turner. Cade Cunningham and Jason Tatum is a duo that is very, very terrifying to me. We are currently up 3-1 against them, and don't do this. 2K. Okay, we're in the NBA Finals. We're taking on Luka. Holy hell. And the rest of the OKC Thunder, obviously, they won the finals last year. And there's a pretty good reason for that, as they are an insanely, insanely talented team. I'm not even sure how they ended up with the #1 overall pick in order to go out and draft Victor Wembanyama, because any team with Luka on it is not going to give you the #1 overall pick. And I know what you're thinking. It's probably because they had another team's pick. But I had previously traded picks off. So unless they traded for it in some other way, then I don't know. But let's see what happens here in the NBA Finals. I'm hoping to go out and win a championship here. And we're up 3-0 at this moment. 3-1. Don't blow a 3-0 lead. Okay, thank you. Jaden Ivey is your Finals MVP at 23 years old. We get a championship here with the 25 and younger crew. I've actually already done the 30 and older rebuild challenge on 2K23. It's actually really, really hard. It's a lot harder than it actually seems like it would be. But, yeah, we had a hell of a team here with 25 or younger, as you can see. We have a bunch of 25-year-olds now, so thank God this is the final season. But I had a good time doing this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed as well. If you did, leave a like down below. That would be awesome. As always, let me know if there are any other video ideas down below. And, yeah, that pretty much wraps this one up. I had a ton of fun doing this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the challenge. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one.